Presenting next is Coralea Towler. Coralea lives at Cultus Lake with her husband, Bill. Her family first had a cottage there in 1977, and she has lived there full-time since 2004. She volunteers with the Chilliwack Foundation and serves as chair of the Cultus Lake Stewardship Society, which means she now spends more time in meetings than on her kayak. She would much rather be in her rooftop greenhouse, on a mountain trail, or reading under a willow tree, but protecting the lake she loves has become her passion. Coralea, please.
Thank you, Ian. Right. This is Cultus Lake. It is a very well-loved lake. Protecting it is taking creativity, persistence, and a willingness to try new things. I'm going to share some of the creative steps already underway and why now we're being asked to do more. At first glance, the lake looks clean and inviting. On most afternoons, a light breeze will carry a small sailboat across the water. I'm part of the Cultus Lake Stewardship Society, a registered charity of people dedicated to saving the lake and its watershed. Every year, every summer, there are several triathlons. During a triathlon, there can be as many as 300 swimmers in the water. But the most spectacular is the First Nations canoe races, little kids in single kayaks up to these amazing 11-person war canoes with paddlers. It's amazing, breathtaking. On any day, there can be a surprise. A beaver slapping its tail as you go in for a late-night swim, a deer looking up from its breakfast as you paddle by, someone's giant rubber duck that got away in the wind, or some swimmers going into a very cold lake. A special treat for many of us is watching the eagles. Even better, catch one of the fish that shouldn't be in the lake and toss it for an eagle. The eagles learn very quickly, and soon they wait for us to send them a fish. We host Cultus Lake Days, company picnics, school groups, and many other events. It's quiet in the winter, so in December, to mark the beginning of the Christmas season, the park lights up the trees at Main Beach. In the evening, there is quite an impressive fireworks show. By contrast, in the summer, it's very busy. Some summer Sundays, it's hard for visitors to even reach the lake. When they do, there's no parking. There's no room on the dock for a towel. Over 3 million people come to the lake every year. Sometimes there's a sign on the freeway saying, Cultus Lake is full. There are 1,200 residences around the lake and over 600 campsites. These numbers are increasing. We all drive, we all use water, we all flush. All of us unintentionally add to the pressure on the lake's ecosystem. Geese do it too. Every Canada goose and the non-Canada geese poop about 1.5 pounds every day. This pollutes the water. So each spring, volunteers find nests and addle or oil the eggs so they don't hatch. We're trying to stop people feeding the geese. And the good news is that at Cultus Lake, the goose population is holding steady. In 2022, Fraser Valley Renewables dumped up as many as 3,000 loads of garbage in the Columbia Valley, on top of the aquifer that is the drinking water for the residents. Class worked with the Columbia Valley Action Committee to get the garbage taken away. In 2021, the floods, the atmospheric river, brought mountains of debris into the lake and onto the beach at Sunnyside. This winter's atmospheric river did it again, not quite as bad. Clear cutting in our watershed is making these impacts worse. Sometimes a beautiful sunrise happens because the sky is filled with smoke. Climate change will bring more forest fires, and we are particularly vulnerable because there's only one road in and out of Cultus Lake. Again, clear cutting is making the risks of fires greater. There are 22 species of fish in the lake. and the numbers of native fish are declining rapidly. These two fish, a smallmouth bass and a pumpkin seed sunfish, are invasive. They were illegally dumped into the lake, and they compete with or even eat the native fish. There's several ways we're trying to manage the bass. Use an electric probe, stun all the fish, remove the bass, and let the others go. Another fun way, dive down where there is a bass nest and mess it up so that you hopefully destroy the eggs. If you're an aquatic monkey, who you heard from earlier, you may even look a sunfish in the eye. Another way is the Lions Club Fishing Derby, which awards prizes for catching these fish. We volunteers dissected hundreds of fish to collect scales and ear bones for analysis. Then this little native sculpin was just eaten by a bass. We won't eliminate the bass, but we might give the native fish a better chance. Scientists are warning us that with the current stressors, Cultus Lake could fail within about 40 years. This is cyanobacteria, toxic blue-green algae at Main Beach in January of 2022. A cold water bloom is rare, and it's a clear warning that the lake is in trouble. This one, often called rock snot because it's brown and sticky, covered much of the lake in May of 2023. Not as toxic as the cyanobacteria, but it's nasty, and it's another sign that the lake is suffering from eutrophication. It's under stress. So pollutants entering the lake, as well as dense beds of milfoil like this, are driving eutrophication. The extra phosphorus and nitrogen feed the algae. The algae consumes oxygen. As the oxygen disappears, the middle zone of water, where the fish thrive, is shrinking. We Cultus stewards are not just watching the sunset on Cultus Lake. From addling goose eggs to messing up bass nests to clearing an illegal dump, we choose to act, protect the lake and its watershed. The pressures on Cultus Lake are growing. So for the 3 million people who visit each year, and for those of us who live here, we need a bigger creative leap. We need a broader coalition to meet this challenge. If we care about this lake, this is the moment that we need to grow this effort together. Thank you.